Hello everyone, are we live? Okay, we are live. So welcome everybody to my city Skylines, stream. I completely forgot that word right there. Sorry about a bit of a delay. I don't actually have the preview stream working on my Twitch channel, so I'm having to rely on external matters to actually let me know that this is indeed all running as it should be. But, well, we can hopefully get going in a minute. So, I have been watching a few sneaky little tips and tricks videos over on YouTube by a couple of people who are actually, actual genuine city planners. So they've been giving out loads of tips and tricks and advice to the common folks like myself, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to actually put some of that to use. So one of the things that I did do was scope out one of the maps. So if I can find it again, we are going to be going for the Swamplands map. I scoped it out and it has quite a bit of agricultural land, farming resources available right from the very start, so we can create our own little agricultural zone. And to make it interesting, I am going to see if we can find a decent name for this place. So let's just see. Let's go for Swanford, and we will definitely select left-hand traffic because, well, I'm British, we drive on the left. That is the way that I am used to. Now, where are all my systems? So, as I stated on the title, this is a modded stream. I have quite a few different mods installed, some of which, like Traffic Manager President Edition, are used by quite a lot of people. Some others which may not be used as much. For instance, I have a mod that allows me to unlock all 81 tiles, but I've never actually gotten that far, so we'll just have to see what happens. And of course, as you can see, one of the mods that I do have is one that changes up the loading screen and makes things supposed to load a fair bit faster, but I've never sat here with a stopwatch and considered that, so let's just wait for this to load in. And there we go. So ignore that, and we are ready to go. So even without the ability to see all of the natural resources, the lighter colour ground here does indicate very much so that this is indeed going to be a good agricultural zone. But we won't consider that for the moment. Instead, we will put down the absolute tiniest little section of road we can, because for some reason quite a lot of the roads that you have from the start are locked behind you being able to put down your first little bit of road. So one of the mods that I do have is one that adds an absolute ton of roads, but we won't be using those quite instantly. And one of the little tips and tricks I did also see for City Skylines was that the best way to actually plan out your city is to use this little gravel road, because it costs only 20, I'm not quite sure what that currency would be, but we'll just call it 20 cells. No, because that would be 20 cells a cell, and that would just become for using 20 credits a cell and 0.19 credits a week upkeep. Whereas if we looked and scrolled all the way back to the beginning here, This one is double the price and 0.13 more credits upkeep. So we can use this. I will probably make our first residential district is probably going to be here, as will some residential commercial oh geez, I can't think today, but anyway, so that will be there. We will probably put at least our initial little bit of district up here until we can unlock our agricultural areas, because I think that is the wrong button. So we have little hamlet. So yes, districts when we reach a population of 800, so we are going to need to get there before too long. But for now, let's just start free-forming this little bit of road that is going to be our residential area, at least to begin with. I can see this in the future is going to become some very, very hot property when it's all said and done. Switch back to the straight roads and put that there. Switch back to freeform and make it a bit more, organic. This is somewhat planned out and manufactured, but we want it to have at least a nice little organic shape to it. So that looks good to me. And we have a long straight road here, which is probably going to be what I would consider our feeder road. So that's going to go up here and across into the highway exit, and then we are going to have the same over here on this side. So again, let's do the freeform tool, add in what's going to be our lovely little waterside industrial area, and we will take it to there, back to the straight roads, because we want our feeder road in. Change the angle just so I can see where I want this to be going. Put that there and there, and then we will switch back to the freeform tool and make something nice and curvy again. Okay, so that is our very, very vague beginning starting areas, and then we need our road to be able to connect these two sections. Now I'm wondering, what do you think, people? Do you think that I should do a roundabout, or do you think I should just do it as a cross section? Because I am thinking, even though we are just starting off, I am feeling roundabout. Because to be honest, for me, the sooner I can do a roundabout in, let's do that. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's do it 8 across there, and then we can hopefully in the middle. Okay, that is 5, so that would be 4. That would be 4 as well, and we want this to be a one-way system, so we want the road coming through this way, and we want that angling down there like that and like that. So that gives us our roundabout areas. So we do have, thanks to the lovely power of mods, some larger roads available, but the only ones that I have that are large enough to be one way are 5 lane with grass, 6 lanes, and that is way too much considering the highway off-ramp is only 3 lanes on its own. So, as Biffa would say, lane mathematics. So, we do have our 3-lane one-way. So, if I put that, and that is also a slight annoyance. So, let's... yes, this was always the one factor I forget about, is the ability for these roads to actually nicely connect together. So I am going to undo all of that lovely one-way system that I was doing, and then turn off all of the snap to... Oops, nope. Had it on straight roads rather than curvy. So yes, that will just about fit there, and command, that will fit there. Right, so again, change back, we want all of these. That is not going to let me do that. That okay, so all of that I just did isn't going to work. So upgrade, delete all of those because they are getting in the way. That says space already occupied, so this is going well. This is going absolutely fantastically, wouldn't you say? Absolutely brilliantly. So it was just about there and there. And you know what, I have moved it, so once I figure out where that actually is going to be, I will just adjust this and make it nicer. And okay, not quite as nice as I was hoping. That can probably be moved down. If we move that back down there. Okay, that is as good as I'm going to put it, at least for the moment. And then get our one-way on and off areas, and that is our node controller, and that is our intersection marking tool. We don't want either of those. That is our find road tool option. That is the advisor. I am trying to figure out where is... Oh, it's right up there. I couldn't see it. Okay, so we want to change all of this and make sure that the people on the roundabout have priority of way. So anything or anyone that essentially stops will be on this road here, and then obviously the roads leading to and from this section. So we will change this. We don't want a 4-lane road. Do I have any nice looking 2-way? No parking, tram. 3 lanes. Basic road with turning lane. Okay, no, we're going to have to go with a small 4-lane road and just do that straight onto there and as straight onto there as we can manage. And then from here, this is going to be interesting because can I see, yes, we could potentially actually have a road linking the industrial and our residential area underneath this bridge. So let's just, yep, we can. Nicely done. So essentially we should have all of the people going to and from the industrial district, i.e. to and from work, those should be going across here, and then we should only be having industrial traffic really coming along and using this lane. So as I have the correct lane selected, we will change these bits into our high or higher capacity roads, and that is going to be the one that is on the outside of the entire like commercial, residential, industrial zone. So these will be the highest used roads, at least for the time being. How am I doing on money? Okay, 30,000, good. I didn't want to run out of money and have to put in an emergency development. So we have 4 lanes on that one, so we could probably jump or bump back down. So 2 lane, 2-way road, no parking. Again, this is a modded. So let's see our, and because we have quite an organic shape, I'm thinking that we actually see if we can at least follow that a tiny little bit. This obviously isn't going to be what's the word, efficient. This isn't going to be that efficient, but I think it will be nice to have something that's a little more natural. I have an immense habit on my cities of just building loads and loads and loads of grids and not actually trying to conform to the natural like aspects of. Actually, I will dial this one back a tiny bit. Like, I do not do organic, I do grids. You are living in this like 4x4 section of road, essentially, and that is going to be your lot. Okay, let's curve that round there. Let's curve this, and now I want to make sure we don't have, actually, yes, this will work. So this will be obviously a fair bit of a pain to go around if you are driving, because if you happen to like live in this area and you're coming off the intersection, so you have to come that way, there, and then spiral in. But hopefully we should be able to put in some nice little pedestrian roads before too long. So we have that, we have our intersections. So actually, yes, I will build through some intersections for us so that we don't have people who are trying to get. Okay, and apparently I completely missed that I was using the wrong roads here, so change all of these back to what they should be, which are smaller 2-lane roads. So we have an intersection there, we don't have an intersection there, but we could potentially branch that off into one and one up here. So back to traffic manager, and we want to make sure we have traffic lights turned off there. And now this is going to be interesting for our lane management, because I essentially want that to go there, and then if we say that goes there and that goes there, so then we have that doing the same, and that going to there and there. That looks, if we, so that one would be going there, there and there, but I'm hoping there's not going to be too many people actually coming down this way. So let's, so again, left, right, and there, and then, nope, that one was not supposed to go there, that one was supposed to go there, then this one there, that one there, and there, and then this one, which basically comes through and, yeah, goes through all of them. What do we have here? That is just one lane intersection, so I am happy to leave that as it is. So this one we have you going there and you going across there, you going there and you going across there, and then you going there and there. And okay, and again there and there, there and there, there and there. Okay, so next thing we are going to need is water. So let's see, where would the best place be for this, because we don't want it too close to any residential areas, so I could put it here. If I just basically make sure I do not put any residential beyond this point, that should be fine. And then get our water pipes going through. And of course, because I've made this nice, lovely curved shape, it's a little bit trickier to obey things like building it under roads instead of underneath people's houses. So that is unfortunately going to have to go there, as is that, and I am basically just giving up on that whole business here. But I will put our main route through on this and there and there, and we are running out of money. Oh. That's not good. That is not that good. Alright, so we are going to have to hurriedly put in a few little bits. So if I use the big painter tool, we can get ourselves our residential areas. I do not want that one to be a residential there, but I do want all of these in here. I am already plotting out, I probably think this is going to be commercial here, and probably that, and then we're going to have like a little blob of commercial up here. But for now, because we desperately need money, can we put a wind turbine anywhere good? No, we cannot. And we need how much? 19,000 for a coal power plant. This is going to be good. Okay, budget. Let's basically turn down absolutely everything. And if I actually go back and start deleting a few of these, kind of not necessarily excess, but we don't quite need them yet because we are not going to be expanding out in that area just yet. So let me keep an eye. Okay, yep, we do have our main area covered. I could probably put that there, and refund a tiny bit of that. And yep, we should be good on that. And that gives us technically just enough money to get in a wind turbine, but it's not, we do not have a good place for it. So the best we are going to get is 5 megawatts over there. But of course not, because we don't have... this was not thought out well. I did not... this was not done that well. Okay, yes, I've completely messed this up. So what can I do? Well, in honesty, not too much. I'm just hoping that I will get some people moving in. I can get a tiny bit of money, seeing as we are losing an awful lot. We are losing an awful lot. And basically shoving a wind turbine as close to everything as we possibly can, and then managing it later. And okay, we are getting people moving in, but they are obviously not happy because they don't have any kind of services. You know, I've never actually been in a City Skylines game where I've managed to completely mess up this badly, so I have absolutely no idea what's actually going to happen if this town just completely falls apart. I don't know if you like get any kind of emergency loan or anything of the sort. But okay, you know what? Let's just call that an experiment. Let's just call that the first try. Let's just call that the planning stage. Yes, that was just the planning stage. So now we are going to do it for real. So this is not going to be Swanford. This is instead going to be... Of course, Swanford just popped up on the thing that I was using to randomise a name. So it was Swamplands. So let's go for Suttonshire. Left-hand traffic, load into the game. Oh dear, red text isn't good. Ah! This is not going well. Oh no, my game's crashed. Okay, be back in a moment, people. Be back in a moment. Okay, this was not what I wanted from my first stream, but Anyway, so let's... The downsides of using mods. The game does occasionally crash out on you, so... Anyway, so we did our little planning and through fair. So no one asks about the old town. The old town doesn't exist. That was a simulation, a practice, a plan. Okay? Okay. So this one is going to be for real, and I am going to be sensible and make sure that we don't run out of money for this one. Because this one is not going to be the simulation, it is going to be the real thing. So we need to make sure we do not run out of money. But I know what I'm doing, so we can sit back and run through the planning a bit better because, well, like I said, we now know what we are doing. So delete that and let's get our little roundabout sorted out first. So we will do our, so that was 8 across, 5, 4 and 4. Our little 3 lane one way, and do I didn't select left hand traffic this time, did I? Oh well, we're just gonna have to roll with it. And okay, no, that is not liking playing ball. Okay, forget the roundabout this today. So we will delete that and we will just have ourselves our little on-way, off-way route, and then turn off all of our snapping, and we will put a main road. No. Okay, that's not going to like its space already occupied. You are going to annoy me today, aren't you? Okay, anyway. That back on. Let's go up 10 there, and if we actually do that should, yep, we can now do a straight road, which we will only do up to here, and then across there and across there. And we also had our main route from our residential area to our industrial, so that was like that. Then we had a small little curved road underneath the bridge, which doesn't look perfect, but that is the wrong way round. This is why I do left-hand traffic when I play the game, because I always manage to do something like that. So anyway, we will build out a nice little section of curved road here. We will do just a straight road up to there, and then small little curved section to meet that, and then we will do the same here. Allow ourselves a little bit of organic. Okay, what happened to the road layer? Like a little bit of organic shaping. Back to the straight road. And add in our little bit of a curve. Now I have learned my lesson from last time, so we are putting down things like water and electricity first. So we can have the coal power plant. That people, yes, I will put that there because unfortunately we cannot be able to fit the roads or fit these power lines underneath the road like that, but we can connect them across the bridge like that. It is going to be a bit messy, but I'm hoping that we will be able to have all of our zones and areas built through, so then we can put our water, tiny bit clumsily I will admit, through all of that, so that looks good. We can then put that back up there. So we will also need our inland water treatment plant, because honestly, as once these were added into the game, I did not really like just using the water drain pipe. So unfortunately this will be noisy, it will produce ground pollution, so we want to avoid putting it anywhere near our water sources. I think that looks like it would be good enough. We have 21,000. So, and for a small change, I will use these smaller roads. Go that way and that way, and again do a little bit of a curve, but that should be able to handle the traffic. And instead, for our industrial area, I will put down a more conventional main road, link that down there, up there, and I'm gonna say there was a spot where you were liking it, but apparently not. Let's see if we can relocate that a tiny bit and get the road, yep, back down there. And then we will fill in these smaller areas with a small bit of more general. So I want that there, and then I want that curving round, and then I want that curving back around. Okay, good. We did it this time and we didn't bankrupt ourselves. Yay! So we can have our power lines running up here and then across to there, and then just check our water lines. So we can bring that one down there. We can bring this one across here and up there, and that leaves us a tiny bit there which we can connect up, and there. And yeah, I am ignoring all of the like, you need to put, or the advice from like actual city planners to like make sure that your waterways are underneath your roads, because otherwise you're going to be digging up people's houses when you want to go and change it and all of that good stuff. So we want our residentials here and there. We want to avoid putting anything on this corner as much as we can, because that is just going to create traffic. But for now I think we can just let that run a tiny bit. We can put our budgets all the way down, because no one should be using that much, and we have a massive 10 megawatt capacity even with all of those things turned down. So for the moment I think I will just leave this on 1 speed, and we can just sit in and watch our tiny little city grow for a bit. Oh, it's so lovely to see a city being built up, isn't it? So anyway, we have got our little beginnings of an industrial zone, and we have got the beginnings of our residential and commercial areas. So we have a slight increase in our residential demand, but we do also have a few little areas which are not quite yet built up, and we can see a couple more little houses popping into existence here. Oh, there we go. And even though we are in the negative, we are now making money and people are moving in. We need 380 for a little hamlet, and we are at 247, which should be... Apparently this family really liked that tree and really wanted to keep it. It just about fits in, I suppose. But yes, so we can see that this is just a small little gravel road, loads of parking on the side for people, but as this is a residential area, we obviously don't have much demand for people to really be running up and down here that much. And we also have some people who are, let's just follow this person, so decided to cycle to work. And let's just see, let's just follow him and see where he goes. There you go, a bunch of people coming the other way. And these people all biking and walking under the bridge which connects us to the interstate highway through into the industrial district, and yeah, there he goes, cycling off to work. A very health conscious person, and they work in the coal power plant, so that is quite nice to see. We have a bit more residential demand, so obviously rather than completely overwhelming our areas, we are letting it build up. Oh, that house just decided it didn't want to be there anymore. Oh well. So let's add back in a few more industrial areas, residential areas. And that should probably be enough for the moment. As you can see, we have got tons of potential space for an industrial zone if we need it. And not to forget that this is all agricultural farming land, so we will be able to basically just shoot up there and create a huge farming district. And then potentially we can create districts and zones and possibly make this into a less polluting option, have some kind of energy that's less polluting than coal, turn things a bit more environmentally friendly. Oh, speaking of, I can delete those areas because we do have a power connection between there, so that's good. And then hopefully once this expands up a bit here, I can delete those bits as well. But we can have this potentially even extend across here and make this another residential zone with some commercial areas and IT districts if it gets that far. And so we have our main road. I think I will do just a few little changes once we have a bit more money. Speed up the game a little bit. Oh, and we just reached Little Hamlet, so we can now change the amount people are taxed. We can now take our first loan of 20,000. But unfortunately, our people are now going to be complaining about the lack of garbage disposal, the lack of healthcare, and the lack of education opportunities. So because of that, we have unlocked the medical clinic, landfill site, elementary school, recycling centre and community school. Okay. Oh, what is happening there? What is happening there? Anyway, so if I upgrade that area and that area, because that is essentially the main industrial area that we are working on at the moment, and you are complaining that there's not enough workers. Yep, just not enough workers. Need 12, or ideally would like 12, and you have 3. So we have, for our education, we have elementary school at 10,000 credits and 160 a week, or this one at 12,000 but 240 a week, student capacity 250, student capacity 300. Now see, I don't it's not that I don't put too much stock into this, but my technique when I play this is because, at least at the very beginning, you tend to only have uneducated or low educated people. I tend to put this in and then turn down the funding for it as low as it can go, so we have a small trickle of educated people coming through, but it's not that everyone decides to jump ship and that they want to, say, like, work in a nice high density commercial or office or IT department rather than working in the fields. But we do have to remember, with districts there is an option for schools out, which means that people will choose actively to go to work rather than go and get themselves an education. So I am just looking around here and I'm trying to consider a good place for this, because there doesn't seem to be too many that I can think of, and I obviously don't want it right up against a road, because obviously, or right up against an intersection I should say, because if I upgrade these roads, which I will probably do, then obviously if there's a building like the school that I will need, that cannot be demolished traditionally, I will obviously need to move it in some way. So the thing is like most of these is kind of like, most of these places are decent but they're not reaching the absolute edges, so I think for now yes, okay, I'll put it back here. So we have our first school, and let's see. So we have 50 people who are eligible, and let's just wait for this to start up. So we have a capacity of 300, so we can reduce the budget for that regardless, and that allows us a capacity of 75, which is still more than the number of people that are actually eligible to go to school. So we're going to have some kids trickling through that system. Now similarly, the garbage collection is going to be a pain. I could put it up here just right next to our water treatment plant, because okay, we are going to be running low on electricity, and unfortunately again our only option is really the wind turbine, which doesn't give us much power because this is a flat land. Or you can come in here and increase our budget to not 69, nice, at 66, and we will give that a moment and see. Electricity production 17 megawatts, as this can produce okay, that doesn't actually say, can produce a maximum, or can produce 40 megawatts, which I presume is if it's at 100% efficiency rather than you know, having the budget turned all the way down. So anyway, landfill site creates noise, creates ground pollution. Water treatment plant also creates noise, also creates ground pollution. Let's just put it next to it. The problem is that garbage, as well as a couple of other buildings like the cemetery, you cannot move them unless they've been emptied. So if you want to move this landfill site in the future, you have to empty it out of all garbage, and then you can move it or close it down. And similarly with the cemetery, though I can imagine not many people will be too happy if you decide to dig up their relatives. So we need 10,000 for our medical clinic, just to make sure everyone is going to be happy, healthy, and unfortunately because we can't afford it, we can't really see where the benefits of that would be. How are we doing? We are doing okay on our residential demand. We have still got loads of areas zoned out for it without. So demand is going to be just steady. We are still gaining people. We are at 422 and we need 800 for the next area. So kick up the speed a little bit. Wait for the demand to come through. And let's just see what people are doing. Now this, probably also don't want that at maximum. So again, we can turn that down. Put the road budget up a little bit just in case. Though I've never really actually seen roads being in need of maintenance. So I can't overly say what they look like if they are in desperate need of a budget increase versus being absolutely perfectly fine as they are. So we're getting a bit more residential demand in. Can see this. We've got a few more commercial buildings coming into existence. Let's see, what is our traffic flow like? 87%, which is pretty much like these little junctions here, which, you know, makes sense because those are like the main thoroughfares of the districts. And again, same here, because we're obviously coming down from a large road to a small road to an even smaller one. But 87, that's good enough for me. Electricity's good. Water is at like half level. That's fine. We have 93 or 92 citizens eligible for the elementary school. Still only capacity of 75. I think we will leave that for the time being. Residential happiness is quite low. That's interesting. Is there really a indicator for that? So purple are private vehicles, so that looks like people moving in. Green is pedestrians. City service vehicles, let's have a peek here. Pedestrians and trucks, and loads of pedestrians coming through there, which is nice to see. Let's get that turned off. Health, 2 sick citizens. Wind power we don't really care about because we obviously can't do anything. Ground pollution, 8%. You know, what can you really do about that? Noise pollution at 18%. Outside connections, so we are importing goods there and some agricultural products for this. Garments limited, so that would be presumably cotton. And then exporting, we are exporting goods, but it apparently is such a low amount that we can't actually see it. Okay, and that is traffic routes. Oh, and while I was talking, our residential demand has just shot up. So let's take our dropper tool, pick our little 2-lane gravel road, which is for low traffic. And as before, unfortunately this will be destroying a house or two. Build ourselves up a slight bit more in residential areas, and let's curve that round into there. So when do we unlock parks and plazas at a population of 1,200? So we will need to keep that in mind, because as much as I would love being able to put in obviously like pedestrian walking paths and everything, we have to keep in mind that we will not be able to access those until much further down the line. So we may be doing a system of it's just not like that. Curve that round a bit more, and then curve that round a bit more again, and then we can connect that to there. So obviously we may be like or not necessarily removing some of these roads, but adding more pedestrian and cycle friendly routes and options to the city, because we do want to encourage as much walking, cycling, and using not low impact but low traffic public transport as much as we can. And do I want to try and fit in? Yes, I think I do want to fit in another little there and there and yes, I could probably actually curve down there, because then that can meet into there, and as much as that's annoyed a couple of people, we can put back a few residential areas, and that allows this to have a few more houses and be a bit denser. As you can see, I am so not going for efficiency. I am trying to make things look pretty and not be as rigid and gridded as things have been in my cities previously. So that should give us quite the population boost. Good idea to keep an eye on the traffic. 86%, which is again still good enough for me. There's 623 people, increasing by plus 100 a week. Okay, we have hit triple digit population growth. So with that, we probably want to keep in mind that we want to increase our education budget, because we have presumably had an absolute ton of young adults and potentially some families. Moving in. So obviously they will probably want to be a bit mindful of where their you know, where the school is, where their kids are going to get educated, and health care. So we have 5 sick. God, that why is saying 5 sick citizens so difficult to say? So again, I am trying to think of where the best place for this would be. Quite possibly up here, because that seems like in the centre-ish of what we currently have. So I can either try and wait for our money to go up a bit. So add a tiny bit of commercial there, and we need a bit more industrial, which we can add up here. And we do have a slight traffic jam here, so I am going to pull out the traffic manager mod, and okay, so yes, you moving to there and you moving to there. You are definitely going straight on, however you are only turning that way, you are only turning that way, and you are only going that way. So things should be smoother now because we don't have people. Yep, that looks better. That may have honestly just been a small, what's the word? Jeez, I really can't think today. Anyway, that may have just been a small backlog. Things we have, electricity. We have electricity problems, so I'll bump it up to 80%. And a comment from Bleached Black Cat: do it the American way, no healthcare. You guys, you do have healthcare. It's just you have to have all the insurance and paperwork and everything. So I can't just do something with no healthcare because that wouldn't make sense. So we are now a worthy village. So this means our citizens are going to be complaining about having fire coverage, having police to catch criminals, but we also unlock unique buildings. We have our forestry and now our agricultural specialization. We can create residential specializations for self-sufficient buildings and commercial specializations for organic and local produce. We can put in policies to monitor power usage, water usage, and smoke detector distribution, as well as being able to unlock a new area, districts policies, a second loan, and then obviously district specializations and services policies. So beyond this, we need a population of 1,200, which is the big one. So that allows us like new features, park areas, in industry areas, landscaping, parks and plazas, fishing industry, more unique buildings, a whole bunch of new policies, a whole bunch of new roads, canals, fences, buildings. So let's just keep growing our city. So I was in the middle of demolishing that area. So our demand for residential has gone down a bit. We can now put in our health clinic, and that looks like it will sort most of that out. So unique buildings. A short while ago I did decide to completely reset my game, so we don't actually really have that many, you know, unique buildings. We have the meteorite park because I had a meteorite land in my other game, and it's like, so city arch, we have the statue of shopping, which is, you know, quite a large area. We have the statue of wealth available for level 1, and then we have some landmarks, which are the winter market, which is 150,000 credits, the Statue of Liberty, which is 210, the Chirpex launch site, 200,000, Panda Sanctuary, 180,000, Oriental Pearl Tower, 180,000, and the Temple Complex, which is only 57. But yes, you can see here, so something like the Eiffel Tower, 30,000 squares of industrial zone built. Now this is across, well, it's 30,000 in one city, but once you've done it, unless you decide to reset things like I did, it is unlocked for every single city that you build from there on. So our fire or police station costs us 12,000, and a firehouse also costs us 12,000. Now we are reasonably more likely to have a fire in our industrial area, so I will put that there. And our police, let's just see the area that will cover. So if we put it here, that does almost all of our residential area that we have at the moment, and a good portion of our industrial zone. So yep, that will go there. So that does mean we have our elementary school here, our police station here, our medical clinic here, water pump, our power plant here, and our firehouse here. So now that we have the ability, that was the wrong button, that was also the wrong button. So we now have the ability to have a farming industry, as well as an not agricultural, forestry, as well as obviously being able to clear a generic industry. And we are running, well, I can't really say we're running out of power again. It's more we need to increase the budget and make sure we can afford it, seeing as we are making over 1,000 credits per week. We can probably bump that back up a bit. How is our school doing? 159 eligible and 171 capacity, so almost like right on the money. 3% landfill usage, water and sewage availability. So again, if we just bump that up a tiny bit and just keep an eye on that. Happiness up, our residents have gone up to an average of 61% now. Health, 86 citizens, 100% capacity, or 100 capacity. Our road, traffic flow is at 86%, ground pollution looks horrific, noise pollution at 29%, fire safety, okay. Crime looks okay, we already have a detained criminal, an 11% crime rate. So outside connections, so we are importing a fair few agricultural products and a few forestry products there, as well as some goods. And there we go, we are exporting a ton of goods. And we have our natural resources. So again, we have 3,400, so that is nowhere near enough for me to plan out our farming zones. But I will plop down some more residential, seeing as we have a massive demand for that. Let's do it all the way up to here, and also add in some commercial as well. So we have a nice little chunk here, nice little chunk here, and actually, if I dezone those, I think I will do another little bit up here, just so we have something resembling like little local shopping districts and business areas. Yeah, just double checking myself that we actually do have water placed all up to this area, and then we can probably continue this down, build road straight through here. Let's see, because then we can do a section there, and we can. Okay, that's just a like relic old wall. I was wondering what that was. But yes, we can cut a road down here. It might actually benefit us if we go down here and through, like, closer to the residential zone if we want to keep all of this. And we can obviously connect it up to here. We can build some more residential areas up here. We have a bit of oil, we have a bit of ore. So I have turned on the unlimited oil and unlimited ore options, because when I was playing it previously with all of the grand industries, I just felt it was an absolute pain having to like move all of the oil rigs and everything and move that around, and then once you ran out of it you'd had to import it all, and that was just, yeah, that was, yeah, not a well, not fun for me, I will just say. That was not fun, so I've turned on the unlimited stuff so I can have my fun with all of that. So back to the economy, so we can take 80,000 in loans, and that will be 650, which we could pretty easily take. And that would leave us about 800 or so growth. So it's just a matter of... You just appeared out of nowhere. I swear, you just appeared out of nowhere. Anyway, it's just basically a matter of, do I want to wait and save up a bit of money, or do I want to start actually building out my agricultural sections? And I think the answer is, I'm impatient. I want to do it now. So let's see our road options. So 4-lane road with median, and we do have 6 lanes, an 8-lane road. So I could do this one, a 4-lane 2-way road with painted median and bike lanes. I could do one with a bus lane. 6 lanes, 2-way road, no parking. So what is this one that we have here? 4 lanes, but that is 3 lanes going into 2. Do we have... no, we don't have highway roads. Unlocked 2,200 or 4,600. Okay, yeah, we're a bit of a ways off that. So medium traffic, that is telling me. So heavy urban traffic and high traffic. Okay, I think I will go for this one then. So this is going to mean, at least initially, that is going to be a pain. That is very much going to be a pain. Okay, we'll have to put that back there. And then, where was the one I was just looking at? 6-lane roads. So we want that to kind of come down here, and we want it to... Like, you are not going to be happy in a minute. You are not going to be happy with me at all. Actually, no, I don't want to put that bigger lane there. So if we do to there, and then we can bring that down here a little bit. Then we can create a street there, and then if we take this road and do a little curve, that's a bit too much, that's too little, like that, and then upgrade basically every single one of these, because it is going to be more what's the word? A lot more utilized. Yeah, talking about utilization is probably the best way, because we are obviously increasing our population, we are increasing the demand on what is going to be used where people are going to be driving through. So that does also leave a nice section here which we can probably turn into more of our commercial zones. Rezone that bit there. And that also does mean I can fill this back in. Actually no, I will remove up to there. And then no, I want it to align to the grid. Move that up to about there, and then these areas can be commercial, because if I then start coming around here, I can start eyeing this up for tourism and leisure and building those sections up. So let's just see, our demand is probably going to spike a little bit because we did just demolish a fair chunk of residential homes. And that has also increased our demand for industrial a tiny bit. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting on what to do, I will put up a new little section there. And then, so we wanted, I was going to say the game's pausing for something. So we've now reached a population of tiny towns, so this should mean that we now have, yes, we now have little pedestrian paths that we can be using. So that's also given us a little bump of money as well. And we said we wanted a 6-lane road. So what I'm now going to do is, so 3-lane one way. That is actually not going to work quite the way I wanted to, because it is going to be very... Actually no, because of that I can probably do it more here. So 10 across there, 5 up there, and 5 up there, and then the roads go... Oh, nope, didn't want that. Select it back. 5 and 5. Because then I could probably come in here and do that. Change that back around, and then we can have that coming up to there. And then actually yeah, going back to that road. And we can start dragging that up there. We probably need to put some kind of toll road there when we get access to it. That across to there. Oh, that is annoying. That isn't quite done. And yes, I know I am going right back to gridding and sections, but this is going to be agricultural land, which kind of, at least to my mind, makes sense that it's all going to be a bit more, well, structured and designed. So let's paint ourselves in our industry area, which is going to be probably there for the current time. And then we have our farm main building, which I'll put there. That opens up our options for storage, fencings, and agricultural pastures, and fruit fields and crop fields. So let's do 2, 4 crop fields, 4 what was that, fruit fields, oh, that is annoying. There is not just too little room for that to really be there. Oh, right, okay, I will move that to there, and we can have 2, 3, and we're out of money. And oh yes, you are complaining because you aren't, or not enough raw materials, so actually if I get rid of these, then we can put ourselves in a few grain silos, and then we can run ourselves up our water pipe. Wait until we have a tiny bit more money. Turn the speed up. Hey. Okay, there we go. And just for appearance's sake, so we will have wheat, potatoes, corn, and a greenhouse. And then here we will have a greenhouse, pears, oranges, and apples. And we will leave that unbalanced because I do not want a load of industry coming in and just basically buying up a load of resources just to store it in there. We have some commercial, some residential popping up. Hopefully once this starts getting off the ground, we will have some demand coming in from that. We only have 9 out of 50 workers for the time being. Yes, there is a button here to actually have a look at that. So, oh no, I was looking at the wrong thing. That was, looks like 9 workers just for the farmhouse main building. So we have 7, 5, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 3. Whoever's working here probably has a really, really lonely job, because they are the only person working on that. But so it looks like we are honestly just storing all of these products ourselves rather than selling them. But we do have a bit more money, though apparently we have a bit of a sewage water systems. It makes sense. Go back to our budget, increase that up to 75, and that should resolve itself shortly. And we have a police car. So what are you investigating? Responding to a call. Inspecting the crime scene. And returning to station. So apparently they were just answering a call. There was no arrests or anything made there from the looks of it. Our crime rate is down to 4%, and we have 8 criminals in a capacity of in a jail capacity of 20. So we're doing alright there. Noise pollution at 30%. Yeah, people aren't going to be happy. We have more people eligible for the elementary school than we have the capacity for. 1 sick citizen. Pretty much standard level 1 buildings, I think. Yeah, we've got a couple of level 2 in the residential area, but not that major. Traffic is at 84%. I can see why, because this I forgot to, for one, delete those, and for another, I forgot to put these in. So anyone on the roundabout has right of way. Anyone who is coming in of the intersections has to wait. And similarly here. People who are going to be... Actually, I will make this a left turn only lane, and then you can go that way. And actually removes that, so that's there. So we... Oh. I was going to say, so we only have like each lane or each thing going into one, but no, we do have. Okay, so you can go there, and you are going to be a right turn only. So we can see where the issues are. So that is obviously a load of industrial traffic coming through, and obviously wanting to go back onto the highway. I see this intersection doesn't seem to be a problem. It is on this jamming up. Maybe I'll actually change that around. So these guys have to stop. No, that was the wrong way round. I didn't want it that way. I wanted that to stop, that to give way, and no, this is just causing all kinds of mess. Well, I'll leave it for a minute to run through, and hopefully that will, yep. Okay, that's cleared that lot out. And actually what I will do, seeing as we now should have... Okay, no, we don't have the actual pedestrian roads down, but what we do have are pavement paths. So for this one, there we go. Okay, you cannot cross the road here. Like, there's no method for you to cross the road. However, what I will do is I will get together and back down. Turn off any of the snapping. And there. Okay, no, that is apparently too close to the road. But I will do it the other way round. 3. Yeah. I can't trust my eyes. It's like, I do art, but like, when it's like, okay, is that road straight? It's like, Okay, so we have our pedestrian overpass here. So then if we take this back down, so we obviously want it to probably actually, if I count that off, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I make it hit 10 there. And then, come on, don't be too fussy. Gonna be fussy. Yeah, I changed my mind again. Effectively what I want is to snap it all back, or not, seeing as that's just okay. Okay, yes, I am going to have to delete all of that again. Okay, so I wanted 1, 2, 3. If we actually bring it back 1. And then put that there. And then there. And then there, we can connect that across to there. Ah, are you kidding me? Why? Did it perfectly fine over there. Why aren't you liking it here? being helpful as to tell me why that is not working. Okay, anyway, back to what I was doing initially. It's not the word guidelines, it's the grid that I don't want it to be snapping to. So if I actually come back down here, if I do one down, and one down, one down, one down, and one down. Hey, this is looking very interesting. Yes, that has been paged down. And down. And one down. Turn all these back on except the grid. Okay. Okay, nice. Something about that little bit of road, and okay, this just looks horrendous now. But I changed my mind. Oops, didn't mean to destroy that tree. Okay, well, what if I actually want... You know what, I'm just going to say, yep, that's good enough for me. Yes, I am sick of trying to fiddle with that. But that should mean that cars do not stop here because of pedestrians. They should all just go straight through, and yep, we have our people already coming through and walking on that area. That is nice. Let's just keep an eye on this for a bit. So we have it set up so that these... let's just change this and see what happens there. So they are not stopping now. Okay, yeah, I would say that looks a lot smoother. We don't have people crossing the road. Actually, while I think about it, if I come back here, there shouldn't be anyone needing to cross the road over here. But I will still remove it just in case. And if I do find that there are any people that are wanting to cross the road, which they shouldn't do, because if they're coming all the way down here, I don't know what they're looking for. Because obviously we have this underpass that leads from our main residential district to the industrial zone. and we have an absolute ton of residential demand popping up. So if I do that there, drop a tool, no, not the road name, drop a tool this, freehand it again, we are needing some more money, and unfortunately I've taken out all of my loans. So let's just build this bit back up when we have a bit spare funds. And then we can connect it up here and avoid making another new junction through the system. And I'm aware we have run out, or we need to bump up our electricity again. Now unfortunately we are at 100%, so we will need to make our coal power plant work a tiny bit overtime. That's still going to be rolling brownouts everywhere. So put out 2.25%. That is just about doable. Okay, we've dropped down on our electricity consumption to 35 megawatts instead of 40, instead of like 45. So again, wait for a bit more money so we can finish off this area. Put another couple of bits of water pipe across here. I'm really not showing you a good way to play this game, seeing as I'm always continuously running out of money. And okay, that's covering everything important. And then we'll see where this section covers when we have enough money. Good to there. And there. Okay. Add a few more roads. That's bending way too much. And if I put that there and make a junction through, then I can go from here and then do a fairly winding road. Okay, I will consider that good enough. Pause. And I will actually start making some little pedestrian paths between some of these areas. once I have enough money to put it through. So there's one there. And there. And I think I will put one large one across here. Obviously keeping in mind where people will be walking or potentially wanting to walk. So another place is probably going to be up here. Take that grid off so I can cut through this and put in a little pedestrian route there so it actually matches up with the crossroads. And then I think that will be it. So why were you abandoned? Worker education was too low. Not enough workers. Okay, so if we pause for a moment and demolish these abandoned buildings, we can add in an absolutely huge section of new residential. So whack it in. You cover all of those. Section here. Remove this area and then go from to about there. Delete that little bit out and let it run at full speed, and we will get a major population boost back. So let's just keep an eye on our water is fine. Our electricity is going to be an issue. So as inefficient as it is, I will have to bump that up to 150% and wait while we get some people in and get some more money. But I think we are doing okay. The traffic flow over here looks good. Let's just verify that. 84%, and it is no longer a dark red. Our agricultural area has leveled up, or has reached level 2, which means we have a +4 to efficiency and -10% pollution. We need about 200 more workers until the next level, but we are halfway there on produced resources, and we are actually outputting stuff and making money. So let's back out of that. And yep, I think we can probably say that we are good for there for now. So thank you very much to everyone who's been watching. If you've missed any of this or you want to see it, this will be going up onto my YouTube channel probably tomorrow, Thursday, UK time. I've not decided quite what time it's going to be available, but there is a link available to my YouTube channel and also my art channel if you would like to go and see that. You are complaining about, okay, garbage has just been picked up, which probably should actually, you know, make me think that this should probably be bumped up a little bit, so I don't come in and let for the next recording and go, it's like, what is everyone complaining about? And he's like, oh no, yep, your garbage collection, oh dear, half of our buildings are on fire. Okay, good, our fire engines are reacting to this. They are dealing with it, aside from the fact that this tree is on fire, which they can't get to. Okay, those are going to hopefully burn themselves out without actually damaging... spoke too soon. Anyway, I will leave it there, so I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Bye bye for now.